Listen to me carefully. Most people are living in chains, and I don't mean literal chains. I mean mental chains, excuses, weak habits, and the constant fear of stepping up. You've been told what you can and cannot do. Fed a story that life is supposed to be hard and that you have to settle. That's bullshit. Right now, you have two choices. Stay trapped or break the chains and build yourself into something unstoppable. Every second you spend doubting yourself, every second you spend waiting for permission, that's your life slipping away. Here's the truth. The world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody's going to hand you power, respect, or money. You earn it. And the first step is smashing the chains holding you back, fear, laziness, negativity, and anyone who tells you. You can't. You are not here to survive. You are here to dominate. Imagine the version of yourself that never settles, never excuses, and never quits. That version exists inside you, but you have to fight for it. You have to wake up early when others sleep, work harder when others rest, and push further when others give up. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort. Comfort is poison if you want to win. Every challenge, every setback, every uncomfortable moment is a chance to build yourself stronger. And let me tell you something. Nobody builds themselves by being soft. You become the man, the woman, the champion that you're meant to be through discipline, action, and relentless pursuit. Stop waiting for permission. Stop hoping the world will hand you your dreams. Take them. Take control. Break the chains and forge yourself in fire until nothing can stop you. Most people don't realize that the biggest obstacle in their life isn't the economy, competition, or luck. The biggest obstacle is themselves. Every limitation you feel, every fear that keeps you frozen, every excuse that makes you justify why you haven't achieved what you want, these are all chains, invisible but suffocating. And the harsh truth is, nobody else can break them for you. The moment you stop blaming the world is the moment you start taking control of it. You are not weak because life is hard. You are weak because you allowed your mind to accept limits that were never real. Think about it. How many times have you held back because of fear of judgment, fear of failure, or fear of looking foolish? That fear is a chain and it's crushing your potential silently while you tell yourself you're playing it safe. Here's the thing. Chains only exist when you give them power. You've been told what you can't do, what you shouldn't risk, and how far you can go. Society, friends, family, even your own doubts are constantly whispering that you're not enough. But the truth is, these whispers are lies designed to keep you small. You can break them, but first you have to see them for what they are. Every doubt, every hesitation, every I can't is a link in a chain. And if you let them accumulate, they will weigh you down until you accept mediocrity as your life. The most successful people in the world are not gifted with immunity to fear. They simply refuse to let it dictate their actions. They recognize the chain, they feel its weight, and they crush it with deliberate, relentless action. Now imagine what would happen if you treated fear like an enemy instead of a companion. Imagine facing that project you've been avoiding, that conversation you've been postponing, that skill you've been afraid to learn. When you confront these mental chains directly, you realize something incredible. The fear itself is smaller than you thought. The chains were heavy, yes, but they were brittle. They only seemed unbreakable because you never tried hard enough to snap them. The moment you take decisive action, the moment you refuse to let hesitation dictate your choices, you begin to dismantle those chains link by link. Every step forward is a hammer strike against them, and soon the very things that once held you back are powerless to stop you. You need to understand that smashing mental chains isn't a one-time act. It's a continuous war. Every day, the mind will try to trick you into comfort, into laziness, into small thinking. It will remind you of past failures, exaggerate risks, and make excuses sound convincing. But the only way to win is to push against it constantly, to build a habit of action, even when the mind screams, stop. You must train yourself to spot the chains forming and attack them before they tighten. When you do this consistently, fear loses its authority, doubt loses its grip, and you become unstoppable. Every chain you break not only frees you from limitations, but also expands your confidence. Every mental barrier you demolish proves that you are stronger than you believed, smarter than you assumed, and braver than you thought possible. The world will start to notice because your energy, presence, and results will shift dramatically. The people who once doubted you will be forced to witness your rise, and more importantly, you will be forced to witness your own evolution. You are not destined to live small, to wait for permission, or to accept mediocrity. The chains are there to challenge you, but they are also there to show you how strong you really are. Smash them, and you open a world of power, possibility, and unshakable confidence. Most people are walking through life as if they are passengers, constantly blaming the road, the traffic, the weather, or other people when things go wrong. They wait for permission, guidance, or a miracle to arrive before they act, and in the meantime, their potential fades. Here's the brutal truth. Nothing in this world owes you anything. Not your boss, not your family, not society, and certainly not luck. If you want success, freedom, wealth, and respect, you have to claim it for yourself, and that starts with taking 100% responsibility for every single aspect of your life. Excuses are easy, but they are chains disguised as comfort. The moment you stop pointing fingers and start pointing your energy inward, your life shifts from passive to unstoppable. Think about it. Every failure you've experienced, every setback, every disappointment, how many times did you blame someone else or external circumstances? Maybe it was a boss, a market crash, a friend who let you down, or simply bad luck. It feels natural to blame, but here's the hook. The second you hand over responsibility, you hand over power. Power lives in ownership. KS as lessons, failures as feedback, and challenges as opportunities to prove yourself. Taking responsibility is also the fastest route to freedom. When you stop blaming, you stop waiting. You stop relying on luck, timing, or other people. You take action immediately. The moment you accept that your life is your responsibility, excuses lose their appeal. You become unstoppable because you no longer wait for someone to fix things or hand them to you. You become relentless because you know that you are both the problem and the solution is in your hands right now. Every successful person in history shares this principle. They owned everything about their life, and they refused to hand control to anyone else. They failed, they fell, they got hurt, but they never stopped being accountable to themselves. Their greatness wasn't given. It was earned through the relentless pursuit of responsibility, the refusal to hand power away, and the courage to act no matter how impossible it seemed. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a superpower. Every time you take it fully, you step closer to mastery of your life, your destiny, and your future. Most people spend their entire lives running from discomfort. They avoid pain, delay challenges, and cling to safety like it's a lifeline. They scroll endlessly, complain constantly, and convince themselves that comfort equals security. But here's the harsh truth. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. Every second spent avoiding discomfort is a second wasted, a second your competitors are using to get ahead, a second your future self will regret. Growth, strength, and mastery do not come from staying safe. They come from leaning into discomfort, embracing it fully, and using it as fuel to build a life that is extraordinary, not ordinary. Discomfort is a teacher disguised as pain. Every time you face a difficult conversation, tackle a challenge you fear, or push yourself beyond your limits, you are learning, adapting, and evolving. The body, mind, and spirit all respond to pressure. You think the greatest athletes, the wealthiest entrepreneurs, or the most influential leaders became who they are by doing what was easy? Absolutely not. They faced resistance, they endured hardship, and they conquered discomfort while others ran away. The hook is simple. Your life will always match your tolerance for discomfort. The higher your tolerance, the further you can go, the faster you can rise, and the stronger you become. Most people quit because discomfort is uncomfortable. They stop at the first obstacle, retreat when things get hard, and settle for mediocrity because mediocrity feels safe. But comfort is a trap. It whispers in your ear that enough is enough, when in reality, it's limiting your potential. Every uncomfortable moment you face willingly, every challenge you attack head on, becomes a brick in the foundation of your strength. Imagine the version of yourself who welcomes hardship, who seeks challenges, who is willing to feel the burn, the rejection, the struggle, and the grind because they know it is shaping them into something greater. That version of you is unstoppable, unshakable, and unmatched. Embracing discomfort requires a mindset shift. You must start seeing every obstacle not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to rise above. The pain of discipline becomes your ally. The fear of failure becomes motivation, and the challenges you once dreaded become the proving ground of your strength. Think about it. When you willingly face discomfort, you expand what is possible. You teach your mind that fear is temporary, struggle is temporary, but victory and growth are permanent. The moment you stop running from discomfort is the moment you start commanding respect from yourself and the world around you. Discomfort is also the fastest route to results. Sitting in ease and waiting for things to happen only prolongs frustration and mediocrity. but stepping into challenge. Doing what is hard and going where others won't is what separates winners from losers. The hook is simple. Every uncomfortable action you take multiplies your value exponentially. Every rejection, every tough workout, every difficult conversation, every late night spent learning, every risk taken beyond your comfort zone compounds into undeniable strength, skill, and success. You cannot build greatness without pain. You cannot build a legacy without sacrifice. You cannot become unstoppable without embracing discomfort as your ally. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not immune to pain. They simply see it differently. They welcome it, they leverage it, and they let it shape them into the unstoppable force they were always meant to be. Every moment you resist, you delay your destiny. Every moment you lean in, you accelerate it. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your shortcut to excellence. Most people believe that talent alone will take them to the top, that luck is the secret ingredient, or that opportunity comes knocking on the right door at the right time. That's a comforting lie. The truth is, outworking everyone is what separates the champions from the masses, the elite from the average, and the successful from the survivors. Every time you push past exhaustion, every time you rise before the world wakes, every time you commit to action when everyone else is hesitating, you create an edge that no luck, no talent, and no circumstance can ever replicate. Outworking everyone isn't just about doing more. It's about doing the right actions consistently, relentlessly, and without compromise. Think about it. The most successful people in history didn't wait for inspiration. They didn't complain about unfairness or sit idle hoping for opportunity. They showed up every single day when it mattered most. They worked while others slept, learned while others wasted time, and executed while others doubted. Outworking everyone is a mindset, a lifestyle, and a commitment that your results will always reflect your effort. Here's the hook. Effort is your currency, and the more you spend, the richer your life becomes. Those who stop at average effort are doomed to live an average life. Those who go beyond, who push further, who refuse to quit, will dominate in ways others can only dream of. Most people stop at the first sign of difficulty. They complain when work gets hard, they quit when results are slow, and they rationalize failure as bad timing or poor luck. But here's the secret. The person willing to outwork everyone doesn't care about comfort, speed, or recognition. They care only about results, about mastery, about victory. They treat every obstacle as a chance to prove themselves, every long hour as a step closer to their dreams, and every sacrifice as an investment in their legacy. Outworking everyone is not temporary, it is an identity. It becomes who you are, not just what you do. Outworking everyone also requires intensity, focus, and strategy. It's not enough to simply do more. You must do what matters most, consistently and without distraction. You must prioritize high-value actions, eliminate wasted time, and train yourself to operate at a higher standard than anyone around you. The hook is this: excellence is not accidental. It is deliberate. It is crafted through thousands of hours of focused effort that most people are unwilling to commit to. When you commit to this level of work, you create a moat around yourself, a barrier of skill, experience, and confidence that no competitor can breach. The energy to outwork everyone doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline, vision, and refusal to accept anything less than what you are capable of. Motivation is fleeting, effort is permanent. Winners are not inspired every day. They show up even when they aren't inspired, even when they feel tired, and even when the world seems against them. They move when others stall, act when others hesitate, and execute when others are still planning. Every hour, every task, every challenge faced with relentless effort compounds into unstoppable momentum. Outworking everyone also creates respect from yourself, from others, and from life itself. People notice results. Oh, choice but to bend around your efforts. Your growth accelerates because it is intentional, focused, and unstoppable. Finally, relentless self-building demands patience and persistence. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. Strength, wealth, influence, and mastery are forged in the quiet grind of daily commitment. The hook is this: most people quit just before the breakthrough. They stop short of greatness because it is uncomfortable and slow. Winners persist, push, and rise above the temporary pain because they understand that the compound effect of relentless self-investment creates results that are unstoppable, undeniable, and life-changing. Every day you choose to build yourself is another day closer to the version of you that dominates rather than survives. Most people live their lives as if the world will remember them automatically, as if simply existing is enough to leave an impact. That is a dangerous illusion. Legacy is not given. It is built through deliberate action, relentless effort, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Every choice you make, every skill you develop, every risk you take contributes to the story the world will tell about you. The hook is clear. You are not here to fade quietly into mediocrity. You are here to make a mark, to create something so significant that it outlasts you, and to build a life that echoes long after you are gone. Waiting for permission, comfort, or luck guarantees nothing. Only decisive, consistent, and intentional effort creates a legacy worth remembering. Creating your legacy begins with clarity about what you want to leave behind. Most people drift through life reacting to circumstances, opinions, and distractions, never stopping to define their purpose. Winners, however, understand that legacy requires vision. They ask themselves, what do I want to be remembered for? What change, impact, or achievement will define my life? With that vision, every action gains power. The hook is simple. When you operate with a clear sense of purpose, even the smallest tasks take on monumental importance. Every decision aligns with your end goal, and every sacrifice becomes an investment in the enduring story of your life. Legacy is built through consistent excellence. It is not the result of one moment of glory or a single accomplishment. It is forged through daily commitment, repeated actions, and the refusal to settle for anything less than your best. Most people think extraordinary results require extraordinary conditions. That is false. The truth is that greatness is created in the grind, in the hours others waste, and in the small, disciplined choices you make when no one is watching. The hook here is undeniable. Your legacy is the sum of your habits. Excellence, compounded over time, becomes unstoppable, and the world cannot ignore it. Creating a legacy also requires courage. Most people avoid risk, shy away from responsibility, and prioritize comfort over impact. But legacy demands boldness. It demands that you take action when it is easier to wait, speak up when it is easier to stay silent, and lead when it is easier to follow. The hook is this: comfort creates forgettable lives. Boldness creates unforgettable legacies. Every challenge you face, every fear you overcome, and every decision to push beyond mediocrity is a brick in the foundation of your enduring influence. Another essential element is contribution. Legacy is not only about personal success, it is about lifting others, inspiring them, and creating something that transcends you. It is the lives you touch, the people you empower, and the systems, ideas, or work you leave behind that continue to impact the world. The hook is powerful. A life lived solely for oneself ends quietly, but a life built to leave a positive impact resonates forever. Every skill you teach, every opportunity you create, and every example you set magnifies your influence exponentially. Persistence is the final cornerstone of a lasting legacy. Most people give up just when the results start to accumulate. They stop short, surrender to challenges, or settle for comfort. But those committed to leaving a legacy understand that the true measure of impact is endurance. The hook is undeniable. The world rewards those who persist when others quit, who push beyond exhaustion, and who refuse to compromise on the vision of their life story. The legacy you create is not in words, promises, or intentions. It is in the unrelenting, unstoppable pursuit of excellence, influence, and impact that cannot be erased. So today, make a decision. Stop being a slave to doubt. Stop being a prisoner of fear. Stop letting others dictate what your life should be. The chains are heavy, yes, but the weight is temporary. What you build now is eternal. Build yourself. Build your strength. Build your wealth. Build your legacy. And when the world sees you, they'll know one thing: you are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. You are the master of your destiny.